Alright, this is John Colo with DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. In this episode, I'll be comparing the best-selling in the United States Naam J2 to the Sine multi-batch compact batch juicer. This guy right here is the most affordable and best performing with the longest warranty, being distributed by an established company that has been selling juicers in the United States for over 25 years now through Tribest. So if you guys are looking for a mini machine because you can't afford the big guy, then this is likely the one. But in this episode, I want to show you guys each of them, the pros and the cons of each of them. Clearly, each one of these machines have their pros and cons. I like the Naam J2, and that's what I use at home. That being said, in my to-go luggage is the Sine multi-batch compact juicer, because it's so much smaller. It works similar to the J2, but takes up a lot less space. That being said, you can't juice as much as you can with the Naam J2. The Naam J2 I would call a real batch juicer, and while they call this a batch juicer, the most really you're going to make with this in one session before the motor will overheat after 20 minutes is approximately 2 quarts maximum. Whereas on this machine, I made up to 12 quarts in literally one sitting without stopping. So that's really the main thing. You guys get what you pay for. Of course, the Sine multi-batch is approximately 3.5 times, 3.5 times less money than the Naam J2. That being said, the warranties is a lot different too. You get a 3-year warranty, which is quite respectable on a machine of this price. That being said, on the Naam J2, you get a 5 times longer warranty, and you're not even paying 5 times the money. It's a full 15-year warranty in the whole entire machine. In any case, let's go ahead and dig right in to what is included with each of these machines. That's what I'm going to do first. Next, I'll be going over each of the different parts and how they work, how they're similar, and how they're different. And then finally, I'll be doing the juice off comparison test to see which one of these machines actually makes more juice. All right, so to start us off, let's go ahead and compare what you get with the juicers. So with the Sine multi-batch, it's a pretty simple unit. You get the main unit itself. You get 2 tiny collection cups. I would like to see these a lot larger, especially if you're trying to make a batch juice. To me, this is just like, you know, a little bit of juice. Anyways, you get 2 cleaning brushes, which is impressive. The cleaning brushes aren't the highest quality. And you also get an instruction manual, very simple instruction manual, and the warranty card. Now with the Naam J2, and I want to let you guys know up front that I do have the all-new 3-liter expanded hopper that's 50% larger than the 2-liter. This is an optional upgrade you guys can get. Ever since it came out, that's all I've been using on my machine because I find it makes my juicing process a little bit easier because I could fill the hopper up less and it empties out and makes more juice in one get-go. Link down below to my video where I demonstrate the 3-liter hopper as well as the other accessories that are now available for the Naam J2. Anyways, with the Naam J2, you get 2 larger collection cups, like significantly larger. I'm going to say it holds like at least twice as much as this little small one. And of course, you get a nice large pulp catch container for true bulk juicing. Next up, you also get a what Naam calls the smoothie screen. I would actually call this a coarse hole screen to put more pulp in your juice when making fruit juices. Link down below to the video where I use this exact attachment to make smoothies in the J2 to compare how it works with against a vacuum blender as well as a traditional blender. And along with the J2, you get 1 cleaning brush, so I encourage Naam to up their game with the cleaning brushes. The inexpensive machine actually has 2. Naam only has 1, and it's a little bit smaller brush, whereas you actually get a nice large brush on the Sine. But with the Naam J2, you also get a quick start guide, which is really nice and convenient. Gets you up and running quickly and easily. You get a nice instruction book, and more importantly, for those of you guys that haven't juiced before that are new to juicing, you get a whole recipe book where they go over lots of different recipes and benefits of juicing, company philosophy and whatnot. So it's a really good value to get the J2 because you get a lot more, and the machine just out of the box has a lot more functionality. That being said, Nama also has additional accessories you can buy, with hopefully more coming, to make the J2 even better, and I want to show you guys that right now. Number one, they have the Sorbet screen, link down below my video on the Sorbet attachment, how this Sorbet attachment can now make sorbets and nut butters. This is functionality that the Sine compact multi-batch juicer simply does not have. They specifically say don't put anything else into the machine aside from fresh produce, and they don't even encourage you to try to rejuice your pulp like I do pretty much most times in the Naam J2. So this is amazing that they have this optional attachment you guys can upgrade to turn frozen bananas into a banana like ice cream that tastes amazing, that could get you and your family off, you know, ice cream with all these different sugars added and preservatives and things. Also, of course, the Naam J2 has the all new citrus attachment, which is, this is the citrus attachment. You literally just take the top set off and drop on the citrus attachment, and now instantly your Naam J2 has converted into a really nice citrus juicer that you cut the oranges in half, put it on there, and ream them out. This, of all the new latest accessories, has been selling the most, which really surprises me. And if you haven't seen already, make sure you check the link down below to my video where I demonstrate the citrus attachment versus juicing citrus in the full-size hopper, which is the way I prefer to juice citrus myself. But nonetheless, you know, Naam will continue to innovate, and they are currently working on other attachments they hope to come out in the future. So know this, if you guys buy Naam, you know, you will have further functionality in the future, you know, than just juicing. You know, at this point you can make sorbets, smoothies, nut butters, and even make your own citrus juice. Now, of course, with the Sine multi-batch, you only have one option, just to juice. So you guys just learned what comes with each of the machines and what it is capable of doing, and surely, I mean, you get a lot more when you buy an Naam J2. Of course, it does cost a lot more, and I know some of you guys can't afford it. That being said, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. I started my company back in 1998 to get you guys the best price and to give you the most money on the different juicers, and of course also to educate people about the power of eating more fruits and vegetables through different appliances. And that's why I want to make sure you guys get the lowest price, whether you're considering buying the Sine multi-batch compact juicer or the Naam J2. So if you guys want to save 10% off on the compact multi-batch juicer, make sure you go to the website tribest.com/DJ10, and you want to activate the coupon code on that screen. That will save you 10% off the Sine multi-batch compact juicer or any other TriBreast product. If you guys are interested in buying the Naam or any of the accessories that I showed you guys could use the coupon code MULTIPURPOSE at namawell.com. That'll save you guys 10% off the price of the Naam J2, which in the United States is $55. Of course, that coupon will work worldwide, and currently Naam is offering free shipping to the United States as well as the European Union countries on the European model juicer. That's just simply amazing that they're including the shipping to a lot of you guys out there in the world. That being said, when you guys use either the coupon codes that I mentioned, not only will you save money off the machines and get the lowest price, but more importantly, TriBest or Naam will show me a small commission so I can continue to make my impartial educational videos for you guys, showing you guys the pros and the cons, things you're not going to hear from an influencer that just promotes Naam. I work with all the different companies and I really don't care which juicer you get. What is important to me is that you get the right juicer for you, and that's why I make these videos. I'm so passionate about juicing, so that you could watch the different videos and say, hey John, I like this about this, I like that about that, and after watching that video I'm going to get this one, or maybe you're going to get that one. I don't really know, but I just want to be straightforward and just tell it you guys like it is, and then allow you and empower you, the consumer, to make the best purchase decision. So that being said, if I've helped you out select the right juicer, teach you things that you haven't learned elsewhere, I would encourage you guys once again to use my coupon codes. That helps me out so I can continue to pay my video editor, you know, power my light bill, buy my produce, spend my time to make these videos, and you are much appreciated. So anyways, let's go ahead and get into a comparison of these two machines and show you how they work, how they're similar, and how they are different. So the first thing is you'll see there's a considerable size difference. This is like a little miniature machine compared to the Naama J2. It's a daddy. So I mean, you could almost like take these whole juicing parts here off the Sine mini batch juicer and like drop it into the hopper of the J2. I don't know if I don't recommend juicing that, but that's how much the difference in the size is. Of course, this is a lot more lightweight machine, and what I did not mention yet is where these machines are made. This machine is made in South Korea in a factory that has been making juicers for well over 20 years and has perfected their craft. Meanwhile, you know, this machine is made in China. You know, that being said, Chinese machines aren't all bad. Some of them can be better than others. And the thing that I want to let you guys know, because I have tested other, you know, small batch style Naama knockoffs, links down below to those two videos where, you know, I just randomly buy some on the major Amazon website and test them. And they have their pros and cons. That being said, if you guys are considering, you know, an inexpensive version, I would get this one above those other two, because this one is backed by a solid company that has been working with factories over in China to make high quality machines for many years now. So you have a trusted source. So yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and take these machines apart, part by part. First, we have coming off the hopper on the Naama J2. As I said, this is the 3-liter hopper, 50% larger than their hopper that it comes standard with. This is an optional upgrade that you have to pay extra for. This will not come with the machine. You always have to buy the 2-liter hopper that comes installed and then add this in addition if you would like it. That being said, this hopper holds 105 ounces and has a built-in processing blade in the bottom that spins around, that pre-cuts to some extent and feeds in the produce at the slow and moderate rate. That is really the game-changing technology of these hopper-style machines. You know, one of the biggest problems with just standard vertical juicers is that people would not pre-cut the produce enough and people would jam things in too quickly, and then it would cause major failure, clogs, backup, jamming, and then in some cases you couldn't even get the juicer apart. So that's why I really am a fan of the batch juicers that are properly designed, such as the Naama J2. Meanwhile, over on the Sine multi-batch juicer, we're going to go ahead and take off this top piece, and to do that you need to open up the lid first. And then you could finally take it apart, and you can see this top piece, this hopper is actually not a hopper at all. It's actually a tube. And you can actually fit this whole tube inside this one. So, I mean, really, that's a big difference. You can't really fit a lot of food in here to batch juice it. You're almost using this as a traditional juicer where you have to feed things in. Next coming out, we have the juicing screen and processing blade. I want you guys to look at these processing blades. These processing blades are very similar in shape. They both have like a rake there, and then they kind of come up. This one's a bit more aggressive. They've changed the shape a little bit, so it probably doesn't infringe on the patent. But when this is installed in here, you know, this is theoretically at the bottom. This is at the bottom of the little tube there to make it a little hopper. So that's an interesting way to basically avoid any kind of patent infringements, because they don't actually have a hopper. They just have the screen with a built-in processing blade. Of course, next coming out, we got the auger and juicing parts on the Naama J2, and we have the auger coming out on the Sine Multi-Batch XL. So big difference here. So let's go over each of the parts. Number one, I want to share with you guys the screen. So this screen has a wiping blade. You guys can see it rotates around. What this wiping blade does, it has silicone wipers that if you have a car and you have, you know, high-end wipers on your car, they're silicone, so they don't wear out as quickly as like rubber. This actually wipes down the screen. So imagine driving down the freeway at 50 miles an hour without windshield wipers, right? You can't really see, and that's what this does for the screen. So basically wipes off the screen to make sure the machine is going to be as efficient as possible and also make your job cleaning the screen that much easier. Of course, the multi-batch machine does not have such a wiping blade. Of course, that being said, this is also one extra part to clean. That being said, if you want to use an Naama J2 without the wiping blade, you could surely do that as well, so you have one less part to clean. Maybe it'll diminish the performance a little bit, but you're not going to notice it that much. Now, the other major interesting thing about these two machines is the juicing screen. So you guys can see this screen is stainless steel free. This is one of the machines that's actually designed to stainless steel free, except for maybe this little nub that comes up to hold the processing blade on. For the most part, your food is not going to touch stainless steel. I know some people are concerned about stainless steel. You know, I'm personally not. But if you want a stainless steel free juicer, this is the mini batch juicer to buy. That being said, the screen holes, instead of having a traditional stainless steel screen with screen holes that are quite small, the screen holes on this are just drilled or, you know, molded into the plastic. So they're significantly larger than the holes on the Naam J2. What this means is that this unit will put more pulp in your juice that you will need to strain out. And of course, neither of these machines include an optional sieve that you can purchase separately with the Naam J2, and you have to just go ahead and source your own for the Sine multi-batch juicer. And then of course on this machine there's screen holes all the way around, so as the machine's working, juice could come out all different sides. That's a very important point. Whereas on this screen they designed it, there's only screen holes on one side, on the top and the bottom, and then on the back side there's other screen holes, and the other parts it's just basically blank. So to me this is a missed opportunity for, you know, extracting more juice. Instead of forcing all the juice out this side, at any point it's getting ground up, the juice could come out on the Naam J2. So those will be very interesting to see the actual yield testing. And then finally we have the auger. This is the GE Ultim auger, and I'm not exactly sure what plastic they are using on the Sine multi-batch. In general, you know, machines cost less because they're using materials that are not as costly, right? So I do know that like both the Naam J2 and the Sine multi-batch do have BPA-free catch containers. That being said, Naam is using a more expensive Eastman Triton material that is, you know, certified for BPA and BPS free. But anyways, these augers, big difference in not only the weight. I could feel the weight, big difference. Also, you could see this is almost, they're very similar. This one is a bit, has some like ribbing in the inside of the auger, which makes it a bit harder to clean, whereas this one does not. This one has some pitting on the auger that is said to help reduce the noise when you're juicing. And the other thing is the run. So that's a very important factor I want to try to explain to you guys. So you guys can see, you know, there's a lot more run on this machine, meaning there's more opportunities for the produce to get ground down from a bigger particle size to a smaller particle size before it is ejected out. That means the machine is going to generally do a better job at grinding and extracting more juice and more nutrition out of the juice. Whereas on this machine, you know, I would say the run is, I mean, the actual juicing run is maybe half the size. That's really kind of crushing and squeezing. It's just kind of compressing it down. So you have a lot larger, twice as much run to really grind things up and extract more juice. While yields may look the same, right? If we did, in my opinion, some kind of analysis on the juice and phytonutrients in the juice, the Naam, in my opinion, would actually make a more nutritious juice, you know, just due to the auger design of the machines. Okay, and then finally we got the two juicing bowls. This is the juicing bowl in the Naam J2. This is a quick, easy design. So you have this little lever that you just flip down, and then you open this up. This is where all the pulp comes out, so it makes it really simple and easy to clean. This is the pulp flap that you can remove to clean, but generally I don't even remove this when cleaning. You don't have to, if you just leave it in there, you don't have to remove it or do anything when you're done cleaning it, so that's really easy. Of course, you also have a pulp flap, and then on the bottom of the Naam J2, you guys can see it's pretty flat on the bottom, so this is going to make it easier to clean for you guys. And then over on the Sine multi-batch, a little bit different story here. While it is fairly similar, you also have a juice flap to do mixing in the juice bowl, which I don't recommend, or to stop drips when you're done, which I do recommend when you're done juicing. You also, where the pulp comes out here, you have a little tab. So this is like old school design. You have a little tab that you have to pull out. And the challenge I had with this is that putting the tab back in is a little bit challenging because the tab is a little bit thin. Of course, you know, really what these two machines come down to is if you have more time than money, right, then you're going to want to go with the Sine because it costs less money. But if time is valuable to you and you have more money, like I'm going to say, don't waste your time screwing with this thing that is, you know, more difficult to use because you got to kind of get this little pulp flap in there, and then you got to shove your finger in here, or the screwdriver cleaning tool, to get in this little area which pulp kind of gets stuck in. I believe they should have designed this a bit better. In addition, unlike the Naam J2 that's flat on the bottom, this is not. This has like a little center ridge that comes up. So now you got to clean, down with the brushes either in these two little channels, which is going to be more difficult to clean. Although this machine is smaller, so that means there's overall less surface area. That being said, of these two parts, I'd rather clean the Naam J2 part. That being said, let's talk about the motor. So the motors both have a very similar on-off switch with an on and a momentary reverse for the Shine, and similar on the Naam J2. The Naam J2 currently comes in the white, black, and maybe a gray, whereas the Shine multi-batch comes in a gray and a white currently. The weight of these motors are significantly different. Like, this thing is way lighter. I didn't do a weight test, but I'm going to say this is at least like at least 3 times heavier than this motor, right? That being said, both motors are rated at 150 watts. Just because they're rated at 150 watts doesn't mean that, they're even matched. It just means that that's how much, wattage each motor pulls. That being said, besides the wattage it pulls, it's the duty cycle of the motor itself. So Shine specifically says not to use a machine more than 20 minutes, which if you max it out, you could probably make about 2 quarts of juice maximum in 20 minutes before you must let the machine cool off and rest for at least another 20 to 30 minutes before you can use it again. Meanwhile, over on the J2, the recommended usage time is 30 minutes with no necessarily maximum usage. If I do get the J2 out on any random day to juice, I'm usually juicing at least minimum an hour to make, 6-8 quarts of juice in one sitting. It's never failed me. And actually, that's quite impressive. So, that's really what it's about. If you guys have a large family, need to make lots of juice, going on a large juice fast, and you don't want to screw around with like juicing for 20 minutes, stopping and juicing. Once again, what do you have more of, time or money, right? If you got more money, then, you could buy the Naam J2. You could even use a firm payment, so you could actually buy it without interest, put some money down on it now, so you could get it and make time payments, right? Or, of course, you could buy the Shine multi-batch juicer outright. Another thing I would tell you guys is that if you guys are just going to do a one-time juice fast or some kind of fad juice diet for now, and you're not concerned about your long-term health and long-term health goals, including fruits and vegetables on a regular basis, then the Shine might be the unit for you to buy. Meanwhile, for me, I am a juicer for life, right? I got into juicing because of Jay Cordage, the juice man, from his infomercial, and I've been juicing ever since, and I have seen a significantly difference in my health by consuming more nutrient-dense leafy greens as well as vegetables. I encourage you guys to make juicing a habit. Instead of drinking a coffee in the morning, drink a fresh green juice, right? That'll change your life right there. So, for those of you guys that are really serious about your health, invest in a serious machine that's going to give you the results you want over the long run. Of course, also has additional functionality, so you could change out things like ice creams and even the citrus juice that you're drinking. Instead of buying the pasteurized, pre-made stuff that's from concentrate, you could have that citrus attachment and make citrus juice just like you had when you were a kid. So that's why I really think the Naam is a much better value for your long-term health. So next, I want to show you guys how to assemble each of the machines. I'll be assembling the Shine multi-batch juicer first. On the Shine multi-batch juicer, you're going to take the main bowl. You're going to make sure the little plug is in here for the pulp. And you're going to line up this back spout with a little indentation here. It just drops in place. You're going to then take the auger. The auger just drops in place. Make sure it's fully seated. You're going to then take this juicing screen. This is the most important part, guys. I want you to pay attention. There's a little arrow on this little housing on the top. You want to line it up with the spout where the pulp comes out, and you're just going to drop it in there. In some cases, you may have to spin this a little bit so that it actually will drop in. Once you have that on, then very important, you need to take this top cone here, and you need to make sure the lid is open, and you can just drop this on, and then lock it in place, and then you're all set and ready to go. Over on the Naam J2, very simple. You could take the juicing bowl, make sure this is shut, drop that on. You're going to then take the juicing screen and the wiping blade, and you're gonna shove those onto each other. And then there's like these little half moon circles. One's small, one's large. You're gonna take this and just drop it into the machine. It drops in really super simply, locks into place. You're gonna then take the auger, drop the auger in place, and make sure it's fully seated and flush. And then you're gonna take the hopper, and there's a line on the hopper. You're gonna line up with the unlock here on the top of the bowl, and then you just turn it to lock. And if you've assembled correctly, it will turn on. So the main thing I want you guys to realize that there's an outcropping here that needs to line up with the outcropping on the back. The handle is always going to be on the front of the J2. One of the big problems I see is that people assemble it like this, because it will go together like this, and then the machine will never turn on because it is not assembled correctly. All right, next up, we're gonna go ahead and do a sound test to see how loud each of these machines are when we are running it empty. So first we'll test the Sine multi-batch with the decibel meter. I'm gonna say we peak out between 61 and 62 decibels. This machine runs at a low and slow 40 revolutions per minute, which actually is quite impressive because it is running at a slower RPM. It will take actually longer to juice. Next, let's go ahead and test the Naam J2. All right, I'm seeing between 63 and 66 decibels, so it is a little bit louder than the Sine multi-batch compact juicer. All right, so next up, let's go ahead and get into the meat of this episode and juice some vegetables. So I'm gonna go ahead and get set up to juice, and we're gonna go ahead and do a weigh-in to make sure we have a fair fight. As you guys can see, we're all set up and ready to juice. We have even amounts of cut up carrots and small apples and a half a lemon. We got 1462.4, 1264.4 approximately on both scales, so let's get juicing. So today I'll be timing how long the juicing process takes in each machine. And this is the real special thing about the Naam J2, guys, is you could load up the large 105 ounce hopper in one get-go and turn the machine on, and you can walk away and do other things, right? That's the main benefit of the J2. Once again, you got more time than money, right? This machine, you'll have to sit there and put each item into the machine, you know, because this hopper is like tiny. You really can't even fill it up. Like, it almost is like not even worth having a little hopper because you just got to keep putting stuff in. Actually, it is important because it does pre-cut and feed things in at the moderate and slow rate so things don't clog and jam like the old school, you know, vertical juicers. Anyways, I think what we're going to do is we're going to load up the J2 hopper. I'm going to hit the start, and then I'll feed, and I'll load up this to the maximum, and then we'll hit the start, and then we'll turn the juicers on, and we'll see how long it takes to juice the same amount of produce in each machine, and we're going to check the yields as well as the pulp created. So let's see. Always when loading it up, I like to maybe put especially the lemon in first, so that helps with the oxidation of the apples, and then I'll load in, you know, some of the apples at the bottom with some of the carrots. It's always better to do a mixed juice with roots and fruits. That'll juice a lot better than just straight fruits. It'll tend to get the fruits a little bit drier. And so I'm just kind of feeding everything in. There is an ordering where you're supposed to generally put the heavier things on top, which in this case is the carrots. That'll help gravity push down all the different ingredients into the juicer. All right, as you guys can see, we're easily able to fit all that produce into the Naam J2 hopper, and we can shut the lid. Next up, let's go ahead and see how much we could load into the Sine multi-batch hopper. Got like, well, let's see, 1 apple, 2. All right, we fit a pittance into the Sine batch juicer hopper. And you can see like pretty much almost this whole pitcher is still full of produce. And this is going to cause me to work the whole time, whereas this machine, I can just turn it on and not even pay attention to it. I don't even have to be here. All right, so let's go ahead and hit the start on. Let's go ahead and turn both machines on. 1, 2, 3, go. All right. So what I'll be doing while the Naam J2 is pretty much going to work unattended as this machine goes, I'll have to just continue to drop items in, and then the apples are too large, so I'll have to actually open the lid to get them to juice. So that's going to be a lot more work. So in order to save you guys some time, we're going to go ahead and speed this part of the video up. But before I do, actually, I wanted to let you know that, while the Naam J2 has a nice slow rumbling sound and was louder in my speed test, this has a more of a high-pitched, annoying sound to me now that it's actually running. So let's go ahead and speed this up, and we'll see you on the other side. As you guys can see, at approximately 4.5 minutes, the Naam J2 is completely done. It has emptied its own hopper. I loaded it up, shut the lid, turned it on, and I didn't do anything else to the Naam J2. Meanwhile, over in the Sine compact batch juicer, I've had to load the hopper up 3 times, and I'm gonna have to load it up one more time before I'm even gonna be done. So we're gonna come back at you when we're all finished. So the Sine multi-batch compact juicer, which now sounds a lot louder than when it was running empty. Actually, I want to go ahead and do a sound test. Is finished. It took approximately 7 minutes, so that's at least 50% longer. And now running with a load, this is like 75 decibels, so it's considerably louder than running it empty. Let's go ahead and turn this off now on both machines. Wow, that was pretty loud. On both machines, I always like to tip it up to see if we get any final bits of juice out of the machine. All right, next up, let's go ahead and bring these juices front and center for you guys. And I'm gonna go ahead and tap down both sieves to see how much pulp was put into each of the juices. All right, so we tapped down both sieves, and I want to show you guys the pulp difference from the Sine multi-batch here and to the Naam J2 there. You can see there's definitely less pulp in the Naam J2. The other thing, I don't know if you guys can see that on the camera, but look at the fineness of the pulp. To me, the pulp put into the juice from the Sine multi-batch is a lot more coarse. I did talk about this earlier in the design. It didn't look like it ground things up to as fine of a consistency, which means it doesn't break open as many cell walls and reveal all the phytonutrients inside the broken up cell walls. And that's where really buying a more expensive machine gets you a better quality, more nutritious juice that has greater ability to heal due to the nutrition content in there being greater. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and weigh out to see how much pulp was put into each of the juices. Go ahead and tear this out. All right, so first up, let's go ahead and measure the Naam J2 pulp. As you can see, it's 34.9 grams of pulp that was put into the Naam J2 juice. Next up, let's go ahead and check the Sine multi-batch juicer. We got the scale tared out at 0. You can see 54.8 grams of pulp. So that's an additional 20 more grams of pulp put into your juice. That being said, it's a lot more coarse pulp, so it's not as smooth. Like the one in the Naam J2, you probably wouldn't taste it so much because it's just so broken down, whereas this is a little bit more coarse. Not significantly, but more coarse nonetheless. All right, lastly, let's go ahead and see how much juice each juicer made. All right, let's go ahead and give you guys a close-up on the yields. Over on the Sine multi-batch, you can see we got approximately 625 milliliters of juice. And if you guys look, I want you guys to look at the juice very closely. You can see there's a little small layer of maybe the heavier juice at the top that's kind of like a little bit foamy with more kind of separation on there. And if we go over to the Naam J2, you can see that layer on the top is a lot more thick. So to me, this means there's more phytonutrients in this juice. And let's go ahead and take a look at the level on this. The level on the Naam J2 is approximately 700 milliliters of juice. And to me, the juice looks a tad bit darker with a bit more fine particulate in there. Once again, equals more nutrition. So you guys just learned the Naam J2 made approximately 12% more juice than the Sine multi-batch compact juicer. I mean, that's definitely respectable. This made a little bit more, but more importantly, what I can't show you guys is the difference in the nutrition. I mean, I'm looking at it just down here. This is a lot deeper, richer pigmented orange than this one as I'm looking at it from the top. So what does that mean? That means there's more beta carotene in this juice than this juice. Beta carotene, of course, very important for our eyes. That being said, I want to go ahead and next compare, besides the juice yield, is I want to take a look at the pulp for you guys. You can see the pulp created on both machines, and you can see a considerable difference in the amount. Like, this is a lot more squeezed out and a lot more compact, whereas this is a little bit more fluffy. The other thing, if I feel this is a lot more coarse. It's like I took like a grater to make, carrot shreds, and there's larger chunks in here because it didn't break open the cell walls. The main thing for how efficient a juicer is in getting the nutrition out is how well does it grind. This juicer left more juice in the pulp because it didn't grind it to the finest consistency, whereas on the Naam J2, it did. So, I mean, once again, you guys get what you pay for, and you're trying to get a juicer that is just like the J2 that costs 3.5 times less money, right? It's not going to be the same. Yes, it does both make juices, but that's really what I want to demonstrate to you guys today is the quality of the juice, the quality of the grind. You guys can clearly see the big difference in the quality of the grind as well as the juice yield. That being said, I want to show you guys what's left in the juicer when we're done juicing. So first off, on the Naam J2, we'll take off the hopper, and on the bottom of the hopper you can see there's very little residue. Inside the hopper, it's fairly clean. There's a little bit of residue in there, but it's quite impressive. Naam has done a really good job. It took him 3 years to design and come up with a hopper design to make sure it worked as best as possible. And I don't think that, Trivest and Sine took 3 years to design this machine. When we take apart the hopper on this unit, once again, they come off in 2 different pieces. You can see actually that's quite respectable. There's pretty much little pulp left in the hopper there. Next up, you guys can see on this machine, as we pull this out, sometimes when this comes out, you'll need to rotate the top here to pull this up, otherwise it might get stuck. You can see there's one piece that did not go in, and you can see because there's no wiping blade and because the holes are a lot larger, you could literally see all the pulp just literally being ground out and coming out the screen holes. So, some might even argue that this is actually not a juicer, it's making more of a thick juice, and that's why if we didn't strain this juice, it's likely that the Sine multi-batch juicer would actually made more yield because all the pulp that was put in the juice would inflate the yield and actually make it look higher. But in fact, you're just putting ground up, coarse ground pulp into the juice. Meanwhile, on the Naam J2 juicing screen, look at that juicing screen, guys, right? We could take off the wiping blade. The wiping blade's doing its job. And you can see that juicing screen is pretty much clear. I mean, once again, comparing it, we're comparing the juicing screens. Once again, this is a lot more efficient in the way it works, swooping more juice down in your container. Of course, inside the screen, you guys can see it's pretty clean on the Sine, and honestly, the Sine multi-batch is going to be easier to clean screen than the Naam J2 because you got to scrub this a bit more than with the holes. And then we're going to go ahead and pull out the auger on the Naam J2. And we'll pull out the auger on the Sine multi-batch. So on the Sine multi-batch, you can see they both have some residues on the bottom of the auger and underneath. You guys can see it's all jammed in on the Sine multi-batch. This is probably the hardest part to clean on the Sine because it's just ground in there, whereas on the bottom of the J2, there's literally nothing in there. Of course, now we got the juicing bowls. Carrots will tend to make a lot more pulp into the juice and leave residue. So you guys can see this is the Sine. And on the Naam, you guys can see also there's some residues in there as well. Now on the residues where it comes out on the pulp port, you got to dig your finger in there and clean it, which is going to be a lot more difficult than on the Naam J2, where you just basically open this up and it just drops out. So you could easily, and it actually even drops out, you could just easily clean it much more simply and easily. So I estimate the Naam J2 to take me about 4 minutes to clean. That being said, the Sine multi-batch juicer will take me actually less than 4 minutes to clean. And then when I clean the machine, I don't just recommend you just wash it through with water. I do take a scrub brush with some dish soap and I scrub all the major parts down so you don't get any kind of buildup or any kind of funky growth on it. Especially you want to pay attention when you're cleaning the screen to make sure you get all the pulp that's jammed in the holes out of the holes that can impact, you know, juicer performance in the future. All right, so at the end of this comparison, I always declare a winner of this juice off, and you know, this is kind of a tough one because I know a lot of you guys don't have the money to buy the Naam J2, but what I'm going to tell you guys is you get what you pay for. You know, honestly, I declare the winner of this juice off the Naam J2. Not only did it make 12% more juice, it made a more nutritious juice. The juicer has a 5 times longer warranty, although it only costs 3.5 times as much. More importantly, it has a longer duty cycle. It is going to save you time because literally you saw me load up the hopper, shut it once, turn it on, and I didn't do anything. I came back and I had nearly 3 cups of juice to drink, whereas on the Sine multi-batch, I had to fill the hopper up 4 times to make less juice that put more pulp in the juice. Of course, the Sine also was a little bit easier to clean than the Naam J2. Of course, the Naam J2 also has those other accessories so that you could do more and make the lifestyle changes you want. So really what it comes down to is you. What do you want in a juicer? Do you see yourselves as a person that's going to juice for the rest of their life, the rest of your family life, to allow them to get more of the most nutrient-dense foods, including vegetables and leafy greens and some fruits, into their diet on a regular and consistent basis? You know, the fact of the matter is most Americans don't eat enough vegetables, and juicing is a very simple and easy and in many cases tasty way to get more vegetables in you very simply. I drink a quart of green juice every single day to ramp up my nutrition so that I could be healthy. You know, instead of drinking things like Coke and soda and coffee that I know a lot of you guys out there. And once again, the J2 is so easy. You load it up, turn it on, walk away, come back, you got a juice, you clean it off for a couple minutes, and you're drinking juice. With this one, you're sitting there, you're screwing with it, you're dealing with it, you got to fill it, you got to empty it, you got to straighten out the juice because there's so much pulp in there. It's coarse pulp, and it's not as nutritious. So there you guys have it. That is my summary. If I was to buy one of these machines and I could only choose one, I would choose the Naam J2. That being said, I do like the compactness of this machine. And as I said, I'm not taking that whole large machine on my carry-on bag when I travel on the airplane. I'll be taking this little small unit. So, you know, it does have its advantages. But for most of you guys, I'm going to say if you're serious about your health, go with the Naam J2. Once again, if you guys want to get the lowest price on either of these two machines for the Sine multi-batch compact juicer, make sure you use the link down below. trybest.com/DJ10 to save you guys 10% off. And if you guys want to get the Naam J2, make sure you guys use a coupon code MULTIPURPOSE because you can do a lot more than just juice in this mainline, high-end, vertical, hopper-style juicer on the market. And once again, when you guys use those coupon codes, not only will you save money, but if I've helped you out, hopefully you'll help me out use those coupon codes because also Naam or Trybest or share with me a small commission so I can continue to make these videos for you guys because I love going deep and using all my expert knowledge and sharing with you guys in an easy to digest format so that you could understand the differences between the machines and not get the wool pulled over your eyes by some of the manufacturers that make claims that I wouldn't agree with. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, please be sure to give this a big thumbs up. More importantly, share this with other people that are looking to buy a batch style juicer, whether they're on the low end so they'll know what they'll get, or whether they're on the higher end and they want to get a good solid machine to last them a lifetime. This is the video they'll want to watch. Also be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss my new and upcoming episodes. I'll be coming every 5 to 7 days. You never know what new juicers I'll be unboxing or comparing or pitting against each other, what new juicer knowledge bombs I'll be dropping on here, or what other appliances will allow you to eat more plants I'll be demonstrating so that you can enhance your family's health. Make sure you click the little bell so you get notified as my new videos come. And finally, be sure to check our past episodes. The past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 800 episodes at this time on this channel dedicated to teach you guys all about the best juicers and appliances on the market. So with that, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for YouTube visitors.